Do not overshare. Not everyone has the right intention.
It's a hard knock life. I'm your host today, Sulim, and I want to talk about today, friends online. And today I have with me Hani. Hi.
Hello, hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
The reason I brought Hani is because, I know that she's had quite a long career online. I want to talk about that 1st. For those who know and don't know Hani, regardless, I just still want to hear it again.
Oh, okay. Just about
It's
me?
fun. It's just fun to know.
So I started going online before my career started, of course, in high school. No, not high school, actually, primary school.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I started with Friendster.
Friendster.
So-
for those for those who don't know what Friendster is, do you guys know what Friendster is? It was like way before, Facebook and
Yes, way
before. That wasn't when
So-
I was in high school.
It was in primary school. It was the same time as MSN Messenger and Friendster. So I used that a lot with my friends in primary school. And then when it came to high school, I started using MySpace, and then it was Facebook, and then until now, like Facebook is still not in, but you use it to connect with old friends, like
Yeah.
school friends.
Our mom and dads use it.
Yes. So I add my mom there, okay? And then on Instagram, I had it since I started working in the media industry, actually. I started right after SPM. So that was in 2009, 2010, when Instagram just got introduced.
Wow,
and I
that
started already.
it sounds so ancient.
Right?
Like, I still remember the first time Instagram came up, and I was like, what? Just pictures? We just post pictures?
Yeah, and
it wasn't even Reels at that time. Just
Everyone
pictures.
was busy using all the filters because I was like, oh my God, they have a filter.
Oh, because Snapchat came in between that.
Yes, of course, I had Snapchat too. And then we have Twitter, which is now X. And then lastly, TikTok, of course.
What was your favorite one, though?
My favorite one, I think Instagram is still relevant no matter how people say, oh, TikTok is in, it's going to kill Instagram. No, Instagram has actually fought its way to make it relevant to this day, because when Snapchat came about also, we thought like, I use more Snapchat, so nobody's going to go there. But still, they came back with stories. So yeah, I think Instagram is
Instagram's
the go-to.
the bomb.
Yeah.
Or are we just saying that because we're biased?
Maybe,
And that was
maybe because of our age.
I mean, being, I guess, KOLs, influencers, out there, I have to say, I'll be honest, there are some people that will message us, some friendly, some a bit,
Not so friendly.
not so friendly, some interesting characters. I want to know who you met online.
Who I met online. Okay, so of course the juiciest one, juicy. Not juicy.
I was like, tell me your juicy stories.
I've actually told this before to a lot of people every time I talk about this. It actually even went on as a headline in a newspaper before.
Oh, that has to be a big story.
I got death threats online before, so that is something that I mean, if you're talking about something online, right? Something that I can't forget. Of course, it's some girls suddenly calling me out and giving me death threats just because I'm into. Okay, so I'm a K-pop fan, and
As most
what I enjoy doing sometimes is I edit photos of me with K-pop idols, and it's honestly, to me, it's very harmless because I'm just a fan, even though I work in the industry and I meet some of them in real life. But to me, it's just as me being a fan and just being the Lulu like any other K-pop fans, you know?
Right.
But some of them got too extremely jealous. And
Jealous
of
Interesting.
the edited photos. And they're like, oh, if she dares to even, edit a photo of her and my bias, I'm gonna like kill her. Oh, and another girl comes and say, yeah, I want to hit her head and, shove her
This
inside.
is on Instagram.
So what happened was that they had a group I don't know whether it's Telegram or WhatsApp, I don't know, because it's like a fandom group.
Okay.
And then some of the fans in that group screenshot it and send it to me via DM in Instagram. So that's how I got to know about it. And I was shocked because I was like, I mean, it was not me hugging the real person or whatnot. I mean, I would understand if it was like that.
Right.
But, so that's the thing.
Do you think they knew it was edited?
Yes, because they were talking about the editing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I find that so strange because I just feel like, obviously, if it's edited, it's like it's not real, right?
Yeah.
But I guess to them, they're such fans that they've become, I guess, lost and in the world and just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Were you
a bit-
actually scared though? Were you just like, okay, it's a death threat, or were you like seriously?
I was not scared, but I was a bit like taken aback because to me it's like, how can people say such things, you know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do have people like when we look at their social media, we're like, oh, can't stand them. You know, we are human after all.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just can't stand.
We have
people.
our know favorites,
But
yeah.
What bothers me a lot, even to this day, is that how people can actually say so like harsh things to people they don't even know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they even create like fake accounts to do this.
I know they go out of their way.
Yeah.
Right?
So other than that, I do get fake accounts like commenting or sending me things like saying, oh, you don't deserve to do this, to do that, da 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 da. So they hide behind their social media, but they're so brave to say so many bad things, and I don't know, like, why is your life so sad?
Yeah, I mean, did you take it? Here's the thing, though. Sometimes words will hurt you. Words will, they don't know it. Maybe they know it. They're purposely trying to hurt you. How have you learned to block that or not block it?
Yeah, so when that happened, things like that happen, my family and friends would say, just ignore, they just want
Right.
attention, da, da, da. But that's the thing. We can't keep ignoring these people. We have to call them out, because if we keep ignoring, they'll do it to someone else. And maybe I can take it, but some people, maybe they're struggling mentally,
Right.
struggling with themselves. They might just, do something really bad to themselves. So I'm kind of trying to scare them a bit, and I say, I have all this screenshots and your phone numbers, because it was in a group,
Right.
so I can do something about it,
Right.
But
Like,
they just kept quiet.
Kind
after that.
of just say, hey, leave me alone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But most of the time, what I do is I don't interact. So they say it, I'll just delete it or block it, or I just leave it. Because if there's a mean comment or something like that, I usually don't block unless it's too much. I'll just leave it there, because some of them will be like, if I block, they'll be like, oh my god, you're such a coward, why do you block me? And then they'll tag me, and I'll get their friends to
It's
attack
like
me.
a never ending.
Yes, but if I reply, then they're gonna say, you're still wrong. No matter how you apologize,
I was gonna say,
no matter
you're
how
no-
you say, because sometimes words can get out of context, right? And then they'll be like, and you say this and you say that, da da da. So that's why I just ignore.
Don't reply.
Yeah, I don't reply.
And I think for most of us, we don't reply. I think that's the best thing. Even whether it's online or not online, the best way to reply to any negative feedback is just don't reply to it at all, right? So you have some enemies online. Have you ever made friends online? We'll talk about the opposite. We'll talk about better things now.
Of course we have. Actually, I've met some people, I don't know, from the time that I had MySpace, or be it
MySpace,
not really
another
Facebook,
one.
I think Instagram especially is a place that you follow that person and the person follows you back, and we can react to each other. And some people we haven't even met in real life,
Right.
but we just know that person as your Instagram friend.
Yeah.
And then when you meet in real life, sometimes at events or something, like, oh, I know you, da 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 da. So yeah, I do have friends online that actually at first I haven't met, but and then
Do you ever find yourself like you really good friends with these people, and then when you meet them, you're like,
what, catfished?
yeah, but in a friend way, like, oh, you're not,
So far, not to that extreme, I think.
Okay,
Not
cool.
that I remember.
Nowadays everything's online. Everything's online, meaning friends are online, meaning, partners online. Now having kids, and having, like you have a son,
Yes.
and I have kids. And we know, let's not keep one, blind eye. We all know that they're making friends online, correct or not? I don't know, how old's your son?
My son is 4,
Okay.
but he's always on YouTube, which also scares me. Even though
Yeah.
you put on YouTube Kids,
Yeah.
you still don't know what goes on in there, and it's so
Yeah.
scary because this is the age where they absorb everything. So what I do is I monitor what they watch. But I know the day will come, and I know how some other parents would be like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I want to try to be that parent that allows my son to just explore, because at the end of the day, sometimes our parents will be like, oh, during our time it's not like this, because during your time there's no social media.
Yeah.
So it's so different. Like, oh, we wouldn't let our kids watch such a thing, but we were watching TV. So actually it's just
So it evolved.
everything is evolving, and I can't stop him from going through social media and whatnot, because that is the future.
Yeah.
So in the future there'll be more,
Yeah.
and this is the norm of it. Like during our time, maybe the norm is just TV, books, comics, and doing other things. But if I don't let him explore, I mean, he's gonna be far behind from his
Right.
peers. Yeah.
But do you think that you feel like you have to have somewhat of a control?
Yes,
And how do you do that?
To guide him, not like to
Control him.
Control him, because I always believe strict parents create sneaky children.
Yes, this is 1,000% true.
Yeah.
I had very strict parents, and the more strict the parents are, the more rebellious
Yes,
we want it to be,
so
right?
I want them to be able to tell me like, hey, there's some random person messaging me and talk to me about it. So I guess I'll be more hands-on in terms of that, like explaining maybe my experience, and maybe when he's using it and when he understands more, and when he's gonna be playing, I don't know, like what, Minecraft or whatever.
My kids met a lot of people on roadblocks, and I don't know if you guys heard some of these crazy stories where people will get spoken.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
act as if they are kids their
yes.
age, but
That's
they're
actually my
adults.
biggest fear.
Yeah. How do you think, you can ever stop that from happening though?
Like we never know, right?
Like from your experience, like making friends online and stuff, how would you tell your child growing up the warning signs of a good friend versus a bad friend?
Yeah. I feel that communication is important, so they will have to. I know sometimes kids, they wouldn't want to share with us.
Of course.
They know for a fact that sometimes the things that they're doing, we might not be okay, so they just avoid wanting to. Yeah. So that's the thing. I want to try, and since he's young, he's already using social media. So whenever I can, I want to, slowly tell him that, okay, so this is what happens, what you have to look out for.
Create a trust.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
can't just say, no, you can't play it. The more I say that, they will keep on playing, and then they're like, oh
My second is a girl. She was around 13, 14, 15 now. She's now almost going on 16. And I remember one of the first signs I got when I was like, okay, hold on. She is, she was constantly online, on the phone, on the iPad, and she wouldn't let it go. And, the minute she finished in it, she ran back to her room to use it. And that was like one of my first signs where I was like, okay, there's something wrong. She's got either a really good, she's had a friend, but I had more suspicion to like it being more than a friend, and I didn't know how to go about it. I mean, again, this is something that's not told like online. Nobody tells us this. Our parents don't tell us how to handle this.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to handle it, but the way I did it was seeing if everything was okay. Even though I knew she had an online relationship,
Ah.
I still pretended I didn't know. And it went on for, I don't know, I would say a year before I had to, did I say things? I said, yeah. And I told her, hey, be careful.
Yeah.
And, her reaction would always be like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
So hard.
What do you do when they like, yeah, I know better than you. Of course, mom. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if the lucky ones are lucky to not be harmed or like be cheated on, like, or catfished.
Yeah, catfish.
That's what we're afraid of, right? So sometimes I feel like we can only do so much.
Yeah. I had to pretend I didn't know anything. And I had to be like, I would literally make up these stories and I'd be like, one of my friends, daughters, sons, and whatever,
Yeah.
They met somebody online and this happened, like giving her my own horror stories that I would actually see online. And that was how I handled it. Later on in the future, she kind of learned her lesson, but it was actually a teamwork thing because my son was telling me little things behind, my older son, my first child. Yeah, but he was a snitch, but I think at the same time he was a bit concerned too. So as a team, we kind of just tried to do it, but it's tough, man. Like, I mean, through your experiences, like, do you ever have a friend? Did you have any other stories where you had?
So, like, what my parents did to me was when I was in high school. I think, how do I tell this story?
Tell it as it is.
No, so of course, because I was still young. I mean, I was only 17. I was doing my I had my SPM that year. Of course, my parents were concerned, and I was in an all-girls school, and then suddenly I started talking to a boy who is now my husband. Okay, so chill.
I was gonna say.
But during that time, of course, my parents were like, I think they didn't know what to do as well, because I had an elder sister, but she never went through this with them.
Right.
So the first person, or the first one in the family to have a boyfriend was me. So how they reacted was they took away my phone.
Okay.
So by taking away my phone, it made me go like, I have to find other ways, So the urge is there, because at the end of the day, you're still a teenager. You have a crush, you have a boyfriend. You just want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
And lucky enough for me, it was a person that I knew. I mean, it was my best friend's brother at that time. So it's just that my parents, of course, was very, how do you say it? Protective of me.
Okay.
So I know they meant well, but as a teenager, when your parents do that, you're like, why? This is so unfair.
Life is unfair. As a teenager, life is so unfair.
Yeah.
Everyone's out to get you, apparently.
So I think those kind of feelings, like growing up and all, is something that you can't really, restrict or say no to, because we have to have our ways. And different generations have different problems and different things to worry about.
Right.
So again, like for my son, I think when he grows up, I'm just going to keep reminding him that, hey, you know what? You're going to meet a lot of people, but whatever it is, you're growing, you're going to meet a lot of people, but always know that I'm here. Don't
build a trust.
Yeah.
Build a friendship with your child.
Yes.
Right? I feel like that's a very important thing. You are now at a certain age, right? This is what I always kind of tell parents, like when they hit their puberty years, there's a certain age where they hit where they're no longer wanting you to be their mom or dad. They actually need a friend, if anything.
Yeah.
I remember being like, when my daughter was going through that, I was like, I just need to be her friend. I need to pretend things happen, and I just need to talk to her about whatever a friend talks to her about.
Yeah.
And looking back, when your parents took your phone away from you, do you think you would, I mean, we'll have it recorded now. Do you think you'd ever do such a thing as take the phone away? Do you think that was the right thing to do? Again, there's no right and wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like learning from experience.
I want to try to not pass on the trauma. But I'll try to avoid it, of course. But if, let's say, like he's suddenly friends with someone that's like a gangster or something, of course I have to do something about it.
How do you know?
Right?
How would you know?
That's the thing. We don't know, but a mother's instinct.
This is 1,000%.
Yeah.
This is 1,000%.
You always feel something. Taking the phone and all, no, but I will start early. By instead of like restricting, saying no, you can't do this, you can't do that, I will monitor. So not restrict, but monitor and be there when he uses it, and I check. I check what he uses and try to say, okay, you know what? For this age, you can only use this app for now. So you grow with it. I know they'll be like, oh no, but everyone is using this, everyone's that.
That card comes out, but my friend is doing it, and so and so is mom allows her or
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
How do you even battle that? You
Yeah.
know?
I think that my parents were very strict in terms of like, I can't go out freely and whatnot. I have had a curfew, but even though they're like that, they were the ones that brought me all over and showed me the world. So I think that you need to have that connection and that bond. So I think I was not culture shocked even when I was studying abroad alone. Even when my parents were strict, I think it was because of that. Because my parents showed me the world.
Yeah.
And they brought me everywhere. So they were not strict like, oh, can't do this and then you just stay at home. Oh, you have to study. No. They're like, hey, let's go here. Let's go on a holiday. Let's go see a concert. Let's go, bring your friends.
Yeah. Again, your parents were being your friend.
Yeah.
They weren't being parents. They were partially being your friend, going, hey, let's go on a holiday together. I mean, technically, families go on holidays all the time together, but do they really go together?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe they're physically there, but mentally, if you show them the world, and kids who are entertained by the outside world don't get as much, the satisfaction of being online is different. But when they see the world, when they see what's happening outside, when they have actual conversations without the phone, it's different. And I feel like showing them that part, back in the day before we had internet, showing them that is a very magical thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, showing, your parents showing you, even though they were strict, they didn't
they didn't confine me in
they didn't
one
confine.
space. So I mean, of course, not everyone is lucky like that. Not everyone has a family like that. Not everyone has that privilege.
Correct.
So what I can do is to have those conversations with my child and to be there for them
To
and
talk to them.
Yeah, to show them that hey, your life is more than just in the screen, because it's not just them. Even us now, when we wake up,
I was about to say this.
And you want to check the time, you check your phone.
I mean, we tell our kids to put the phone down all the time, put the iPhone all the time. We're doing it ourselves. At the dinner table, we tell them, oh, you're always on your phone. But then the parents will be like, but I'm on my phone because I'm working.
Yes.
But the kids don't understand this.
Exactly. So it is true, and we don't realize it that we're always on our phone, and they just copy whatever we are doing.
Yep.
So again,
They are mini us.
It's not all on them, because nowadays people say, "Oh no, kids nowadays are always on their phones with them." Yeah, but we are too. So we can't keep blaming
Stop
just them.
and think about it. Are we always on the phone? Kind of like we're half there listening to whatever they say and then replying to messages. This again plays an important part too. So sometimes interacting with they'll understand that having a conversation face to face is actually fun, instead of online. So anyways, but anything else that you wanted to share? Any fun little stories?
Okay, actually, this is very important also. Never post everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, some people forget this because getting likes, getting views can be addicting.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my God, they like it. Oh, wow, this one got like 10,000 views. Oh, this one.
It's something that some people feed off
Yeah,
of.
and do not overshare. Because I do know some people who wants to post every single thing. It's fine. I know it's your own page, but not everyone has the right intention.
Right.
But
how do you know what oversharing is?
What oversharing is like telling you where you are and like posting on the spot. That is something you should avoid. I used to post on time. I used to post everything. I used to do all of that. But then I see a lot of things happening around me. I see people taking advantage of other people, using that against people. Not everyone has a nice intention. Some are jealous. Okay, some may be your friends and they get envious and they're like, I don't like this person. Because I do believe in the evil eye.
Me too.
So I feel like if you
A bit
post
strong on that.
too many things, then people can get, it becomes a hate from that envy, which is also not healthy. Some people are, posting their kids' badges.
Yes. This is something, definitely I would advise people to be careful on. Regardless whether you have 1 million followers versus having like 500 followers. It doesn't actually matter, but you just have to be careful out there, because especially if your account is public.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. And be mindful also of other people. Whenever I'm with my friends who has kids, I'm gonna ask first, is it okay if they're in the frame?
Right.
Are you okay with it? Because you have to be mindful, because some people are not comfortable. And I have friends who are like, oh, thank you so much for asking this. Honestly, I'm not comfortable with people, freely posting my son's face everywhere, because there are pedophiles who take advantage and edit photos and things like that. We might be careful, but other people who has bad intentions will always find ways to use it in ways that we cannot imagine.
Okay, I want to thank you, Hani, for coming and sharing your side of the world with.
My pleasure.
Because I actually enjoy that, because sometimes we get lost in this social media world, and we forget what it's like. We forget what it's like that there's actually people out there to talk to rather than online. And it's a good reminder for ourselves, and it's a good reminder that our kids are actually going to go through this. Again, whether you like it or not, this generation will go through this, and we have to accept this, and just find a way. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks again. It's a hard knock life, but someone's got to do it. And I'll see you in the next episode.